You know, for decades, if you walked into literally any gym or health food store, you were probably fed a very specific story about sports supplements. And right at the absolute center of that story is a compound used by millions worldwide, yet it's just wildly misunderstood. Yep, I'm talking about the long-held misconception that creatine is just for male bodybuilders looking to pack on massive amounts of muscle. You know the one, the classic meathead stereotype. But what if I told you that modern research suggests this might actually be one of the biggest misconceptions in all of sports nutrition? Today, we're diving into what the science actually says and setting the record straight on a compound that is entirely changing the way we look at female health and performance. And that brings us right to the central question driving today's explainer. Should women take creatine? It's a super simple question, but the answer, it is incredibly fascinating. But hey, real quick, before we break down all the biology and the benefits, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more evidence-based science breakdowns, and drop a comment below right now. Seriously, let me know, do you currently take creatine or are you just learning about it for the very first time today? Let's get a pulse on where our community's at. So there is a stark contrast between the gym stigma and objective sports nutrition science. The myth out there tells us this is strictly a men's muscle-building tool. But the reality? Creatine is actually backed by hundreds of peer-reviewed studies. It's literally one of the most rigorously researched supplements in the entire history of human performance science. And while, yeah, for sure, it's widely known for improving strength and power output, researchers are now becoming incredibly interested in the unique, highly specific benefits that creatine may provide specifically for women. Because it's really not just about biceps, right? It's about fundamental human biology.
Section 1. What is creatine actually? A biological baseline. Okay, so to really understand the benefits, we first need to strip away all those flashy marketing labels. Look, it is not some synthetic, artificial lab chemical. Not at all. It's a naturally occurring compound that is already found right now inside your muscle tissue and in your brain. Actually, your body makes some creatine naturally on its own, and you also absorb small amounts of it from eating regular everyday foods like red meat and fish, so you already have this stuff in your system.
But the absolutely crucial point here is understanding what this compound actually does once it's in your system. Its main job is to help produce something called ATP. Think of ATP, or adenosine triphosphate if we're being formal, as your body's primary energy currency. Basically, every single time you move, every time a muscle contracts, and during countless critical biological processes that are literally keeping you alive, your body is spending ATP. It's the fuel powering human performance. Without it, your cells simply cannot do their jobs. So here is exactly how supplementing fits into this whole cellular metabolism equation. It's actually a beautifully simple, logical flow. Step 1. Your body requires energy, right? Especially during high-intensity activity like sprinting or lifting a heavy weight. So your natural ATP stores deplete rapidly. Step 2. When you supplement, creatine increases what we call your phosphocreatine stores inside your cells. Think of phosphocreatine like a backup battery. And then step 3. Your cells use that backup battery to rapidly produce more ATP energy. So by increasing your cellular energy availability, you can push harder, lift heavier, and actually increase your high-intensity exercise capacity by as much as 10 to 20%.
Section 2. Benefits beyond the gym. Multifaceted advantages. Now, that cellular energy mechanism we just talked about, that's really just the baseline. Now we're going to pivot the narrative and look at the multifaceted advantages specifically for women.
First off, we absolutely have to validate the traditional gym benefits, because they directly apply to women too. For women who resistance train, creatine supplementation is firmly associated with major improvements in strength performance, overall training quality, and really vital support for lean mass. Plus, some studies even show significantly better recovery between high-intensity bouts. So if you're an active woman looking to get stronger and recover faster, the data here is just incredibly strong. But the conversation goes so much deeper than just lifting weights. This is where we brilliantly see the female advantage. Researchers are increasingly studying creatine's role across entirely different life stages, mostly because of how hormonal changes influence a woman's energy regulation, recovery, and even cognitive function. Under brain and cognition, we see it directly supports overall brain health. For energy metabolism, it actually helps regulate your energy baseline during natural hormonal shifts. And look at the reproductive stages. Researchers are actively exploring creatine's potential role during menstruation, utilizing pregnancy research models, and having very serious discussions about postpartum recovery. And finally, for aging populations, it aids in healthy aging and preserving that all-important muscle mass. This is exactly why it's a potentially vital tool across a woman's entire lifespan, not just her time in the weight room. Section 3. Will it make you bulky? Debunking the myth. Okay, despite all that incredible science we just went through, we absolutely have to address the single most common objection we hear. Will it make me bulky? Look, I want to emphatically validate this concern, because if you've been fed the whole meathead marketing thing your entire life, it's a completely logical fear to have. Countless women actively avoid taking creatine and ultimately miss out on all those brain, hormone, and energy benefits for this exact reason. They worry they're going to wake up looking like a professional bodybuilder. Well, we can scientifically slay this bulky dragon right now. Creatine primarily supports cellular energy and hydration inside the muscle tissue. Now, yes, you might see some early body weight changes on the scale when you very first start taking it, but those changes are commonly just related to water shifts inside your muscle cells. Your muscles are simply pulling in water to support hydration and energy production. Cellular hydration does not equal rapid body fat gain. You aren't getting bulky. Your muscles are just becoming fully hydrated and primed for energy. Section 4. The ultimate performance strategy, optimization and recovery. So if you're an active woman trying to build healthy strength and optimize those adaptations, how do you actually use this stuff? Right now, there is a massive growing interest in sports science around combining creatine with electrolytes. And when you look at it, the synergy makes perfect sense. On one side, creatine supports your cellular energy, your ATP production. On the other side, electrolytes help regulate your hydration status, fluid balance, muscle contraction, and your nervous system function. When you put them together, you're powering the cells and optimizing the fluid environment they operate in. It creates a complete, really holistic performance and recovery strategy. So if you're looking to put this strategy into action, there is a highly convenient formula that combines both creatine and electrolytes together, and it's called CREA-LYTES. It's awesome because you don't have to mix separate powders or guess the ratios yourself. If you want to check it out, just click the link in the description below this explainer, and make sure you use the promo code YouTube at checkout to get 10% off your order. It's literally the easiest way to implement the science we've just covered. Because honestly, at the end of the day, that is what evidence-based sports science is all about. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge so you can follow this simple mantra. Train smarter, recover harder, feel performance, and keep chasing progress. It's all about giving your body exactly what it needs to thrive at every single stage of life. So I want to leave you with one final question to think about after seeing all the data today. Would you try creatine? I really want to hear from you. Drop down into the comments right now and type yes or no. Let's get a discussion going. And hey, if you found this explainer helpful and you enjoy this kind of clear, evidence-based supplement education, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are going to keep continuing to break down the absolute best in sports science and performance optimization. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.